Greetings, Clausewitz here. So, this is the end of this video series, and I hope it was fun and informative. And for me it was not informative as much because most of the things I of course knew beforehand, but it was fun nonetheless. And I'm glad that I could like show you some things, or like some of you show you some things or tell you some things you didn't know. And yeah, I will do so in the future. So what will I talk here for the end? Originally I wanted to do a pros and cons video, but I realized I pretty much covered the advantages, the pros of the army by describing the aspects, going really deep into it. Not as deep as it could be or as it is possible, but pretty deep and in detail. But we never looked at, what are weak points of this army, what could defeat this army, and what should be fixed or so. And this is what I want to talk about here. So pretty much, it's in summary, they rely too much on the phalanx or on the phalangites and on the companion cavalry. Sounds a bit strange, I know. But the thing is, first the phalangites. The problem with them is they are too immobile. This is more a trade-off, because actually, because they are so immobile, they are pretty undefeatable from the front. This is actually what is causing the unmobility, but they can't turn pretty quick, or can't really turn at all. When they turn, it could get a mess, become a mess, and the formation can't be then formed again or properly, and they just get defeated. And if the terrain is not even enough, then the formation will have gaps, which can just heavy cavalry infantry can get in, defeat them and stuff like that. And also facing another direction with the whole phalanx, pretty difficult, and when not impossible in some circumstances. And same for the companion cavalry actually. Ground is not proper, they can't charge or can't even ride at all. If they are occupied by just too much other cavalry or just miscalculating the enemy or knowing and holding off directly the heavy cavalry, then pretty much you can have a good chance in losing a battle. We actually see this happening in the Battle of Pydna, where the Romans faced then the Macedons, or the king of Macedon of their time, and also the Phalangites, and then defeated them. At the end, first it looked pretty well for the Macedonians, and later on, when the ground changed by pushing away the Romans so much that they actually get to uneven ground, they had gaps in the phalanx, the Romans get in, annihilating them, beating them, deciding the day for themselves. Even that on their wings, the soldiers or the light infantry both sides had, the mercenaries, pretty much the Romans lost on those parts. And so, I mean, it wasn't so focused on infantry, but the infantry played here a major role. But of course, keep in mind, this is a situation here where we're talking about, we know those things, we know how the army works, how it is designed for what purpose, for which task and everything. So an opposing commander don't necessarily know this. He have to get this information through spies, through public informations, or through learning by doing, experiencing the army while he is fighting it. But of course, when he's losing a battle, then it doesn't mean he had enough troops next time to defeat them, even if he has the knowledge for. So keep that in mind. It's not it's a disaster, why is this and this, they will lose battles and every commander sees this. No, it's not so bad. But these are their weak points, their main weak points actually. This and it's also a trade-off, because for those weak points, they're getting actually big advantages. Like I said, the heavy infantry is the best in their job in this time, and when it's worked proper, and you want to let it work proper. It's not you're just going in every terrain you can, but you really go where you know, okay, you can perform my troops well. But of course it can happen that you are not anymore in this situation, or you can't get in a situation. This is where then I say this is then a weakness. You are limited, and it's not with every army so. The Romans are not so limited as the Macedonians were, and this is where we can say there are the weaknesses. This have to be fixed. This can be exploited and everything, but also they're getting huge advantages, which led to many victories. And so just keep this in mind. It's important. So this is pretty much it. Doesn't seem like much, but it is a huge deal. Like I said, you have to disable one type of troop and the whole war can be won. And it's in many armies is this. It's not like just here. But we're talking about the Macedonian Army. This is the situation, these are their weaknesses, but and how they work and how they could defeat them. And yeah. What I personally think about this army, I really like it. It's one of my favorite classical armies, like the time, like before the Middle Ages. And you really see good this evolution, like from this like more static, simple, and very rule-based hoplite warfare, which then in this end we are evolving towards more serious military stuff with changes and reforms which actually then countered traditional warfare. And based on this, Philip II changed his army, molded it to this much more flexible in comparison force, much more effective force, and then his son like conquered the biggest empire around in this time in this area, and then you see later on the Roman army, which is even more flexible, even more versatile, and like working on its own. Each part is like working on its own pretty well, and I'm pretty sure it influenced them. I would say it's pretty unlikely because that they wouldn't be influenced by them. They knew Alexander the Great, they knew Greek history, Greek stuff, or Hellenistic stuff, and it would be pretty odd if they would just like not be influenced by that. They were of course influenced by the whole culture over there. They had even a phalanx like troops at the start, but on the other hand it's also like, what would you do? And if not like a phalanx, if you have like a basic military. But yeah, and it's not like, I would say, it's not like the army I'm most comfortable with, because I'm missing like backups or backup plans really, and I would need more versatility all over, because this whole relying on the right wing, on the companion cavalry, I don't like this stuff. With the phalangites, I can cope with that. It's like, okay, I get such a huge advantage, I can work with it. I would wish for more heavy infantry somewhere in some other fashion, like more hoplites or so, or something like this, or would train the pelters to a more heavy infantry way. And but I want more cavalry in more like versatile roles. Really, that even if the enemy sees my army and knows something about my army, that he can't like, no, okay, I can't see what you want to do. Okay, this is dangerous, or not so much as this. You really have to guess where I will strike or how hard I will strike. And but this is my thing, because I like taking all this information we have available now, of course. If I would be like in a situation of a Macedonian commander, I would probably change them like slowly at some point. The cavalry, of course, I would do, but all over it's a good army. I could work with it. I would work with it. I would be glad I would be in this army, not other army. And so much to like my view on this. So yeah, we are finished with the ancient Macedonians. What can you say for the end? Pretty big improvement in military history for Europe. A pretty effective army, was still, even when it gets like replaced, it was still effective system, not as effective, but you could effective enough to actually beat Roman army. It's not impossible, and it's not even like very hard, but it's not as easy as another way around. And pretty good stuff actually. And in my next videos I will start talking more about troop types. I mentioned this before, like with the skirmishers, and I want to clarify things and actually maybe like propose how we should use them. And of course I will like say this is how I use them in my videos, because I will use those terms like heavy infantry or skirmishers all over again, and I want you guys knowing what I'm talking about. And it could be that my definition is like shifting away a little bit from official usage, but you will see how this will work out. Maybe we'll stick to some official version just that we all knew or know what we are talking about. But first I will do then afterwards this year, I will do my celebration video about 100 subscribers, which is like almost 50 subscribers ago. But yeah, I didn't want to interrupt this video series, and I actually had to clear things up. It's a little, like I said, a little special. And afterwards we're going over troop types, and I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, so I hope it was fun and informative and stuff like that. If you enjoyed this video or the video series, whatever, give it a like, and please subscribe to my channel. This is what I am here doing, like talking about military stuff, military history, and hopefully see you soon.